Hello, my name is A.B. Bracewell from Ready for Relationships. You can go to my website at readyforrelationship.com, or you can search me on Instagram at that's the number 4, Ready for Relationships. Today I wanted to speak to you about a post that I put up not too long ago. And it said, "Find it in God and you never have to look for it in man." Find it in God and you never have to look for it in man. See, what I was talking about in that post are the voids that we try to fill in our lives with people and relationships. That love, that intimacy, that belonging, that validation, the identity that we search for in people, that we search for in women, that we search for in men, can all be fulfilled by developing and strengthening our relationship with God. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that developing a relationship with God will stop us from wanting a relationship with a woman or a man. But what I am saying is that developing a relationship with God changes the perspective of relationships. It changes how we view relationships. It changes our view from becoming a taker to becoming a giver. Because once we develop that relationship with God, we are plugged into a unlimited source, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access of love, of acceptance, of intimacy, of caring, of validation, that we no longer look to people. We no longer look to relationship to get those things. We become a giver instead of a taker. This, me personally, to speak about my development in my relationship with God. Before I became stronger in my faith, or before I started to develop a relationship with God, I would say that I would use people like Band-Aids. When I was hurt, when I was in pain, when I was wounded, I would find women to cover up those pains, to cover up those scars, to distract me from my hurt. If I was bored, I would find somebody to entertain me. If I was lonely, I'll find somebody to comfort me. If I was horny, I'll find somebody to bring me pleasure. The thing about that was my perspective on relationships and people and women was all about meeting my needs. What can I get? What can I get to satisfy me? But as I develop a relationship with God, my perspective on people and relationships and women as a whole changed. It went from being a taker. It went from me searching for what can she bring to the table? What does she have to offer? How can she complement my life? To me looking at it as, what can I do to bring to the table? How can I enhance her happiness? And that's because I no longer search for those things in women. I no longer search for those things in people. That love and that happiness and that joy and that peace, I was getting it from a place where it didn't run out, where it does not run out. I was getting it from God. So instead of looking to disturb someone else's peace, I now was trying to bring peace to a person's life. I was trying to uplift a person's happiness instead of tearing it down through hurt and pain and misuse and taking advantage of it. And that's what I mean when I say, if we find it in God, we never have to look for it in man. Because you get an unlimited source of all those things, all those voids that we look to fill through relationships can get filled through God. And all those things that it's to the point where it starts to run over. And now we can look to bring those things into the lives of the person that God will bring into our lives. And another thing that it does for us, it helps us to overcome all those hurts and pains that we experience when someone does not meet our expectations in relationships. That disappointment that we used to feel, we no longer feel it anymore, because at the end of the day, we're not looking at them as the source of our happiness. We were not looking to them to bring us joy. We was not looking to them to bring our life peace or bring our life meaning. We were getting our peace and our meaning and our identity and our joy from God. So even if things do not work out the way we expected or the way we wanted it, things ended up okay, because we were getting all those things from a higher power, from a unlimited source. So that's what I meant when I say find it in God, and you never have to look for it in man. I was not saying that we should cut off all women. I'm not saying that you should cut off men. I'm not saying that you should turn your back on relationships. And I'm definitely not saying that you should walk around feeling that you're married to Jesus and you don't need anybody else. But what I was saying is that once we find those things in God, our perspective change on relationships, our perspective change on women, our perspective change about men, and we no longer chase them down to fulfill those voids, because we find it in God. And now we're able to bring those things in the lives of others. That's actually one of the principles. When I say ready for relationships and I say the number 4, being ready for God, developing a relationship with God, is one of the principles that I'm going to bring to you in my upcoming book. As it comes out, as it becomes completed, you'll hear more about it. But for now, my first book is still available, From Relational Hurt to Spiritual Healing. You can find that on Amazon, or you can go to my website, readyforrelationship.com, or you can just direct message me, and I can send you a signed personal copy of the book. From what I'm hearing, it's changing lives, it's making a difference, and I think it's worth your time to read it. Well, like I said, my name is A.B. Bracewell from Ready for Relationships. I appreciate you pressing play, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.